From ABC News, live in Times Square, Thursday, June 14th, 2012. This is Good Morning America with Robin Roberts and George Stephanopoulos.
And now to that lawsuit against JetBlue over the captain who had a big meltdown on that flight in March. Remember that? Passengers from that plane suing the airline, saying JetBlue should have known the pilot was not fit to fly. ABC's Jim Avila joins us from Washington with the latest on this. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Robin. That JetBlue captain who admittedly went a little crazy on his own plane is expected to be in a Texas criminal court tomorrow for a competency hearing. But he's also learned he's going to be in another court very soon. His passengers are suing him. A pilot gone wild at 30,000 feet, banging on the cockpit door, threatening to take down the plane until wrestled to the ground by passengers. And sitting in the back of JetBlue Flight 191 heading from New York to Las Vegas, but forced to make an emergency landing in Amarillo, Texas, 10 passengers who now say Captain Clayton Osborne, dubbed Captain Crazy, and the airline he worked for must pay, filing the first of what is expected to be many lawsuits demanding unspecified damages.
People pay attention when money is involved. So this is going to get JetBlue's attention and force them to do something about it.
I am petrified. You usually go right past the pilot, go to your seat. I will stop and look at every pilot now.
Marshall Brooks and Kathy Euler thought their lives were in serious danger aboard Flight 191.
When you have the pilot has to be subdued by passengers, the first thought goes through your mind is like, is this plane going to crash?
Captain Osborne was eventually wrestled to the ground, but for several moments it was a chaotic scene.
I hear over the PA, subdue him, and a bunch of people jumped up and ran up to the front of the plane.
The attorney for these passengers says suing for damages is the only way to get answers about why a pilot who now says he had mental issues was not diagnosed before boarding the plane.
We know an insane pilot was flying the plane. Now we want to know why.
Captain Osborne faces criminal charges for disrupting the flight, but some of the passengers on board say that is not enough.
He's flying a plane with hundreds of people. He's got to be accountable.
ABC News asked JetBlue about the lawsuit, but we're told there would be no comment on pending litigation. Now, the passengers say that JetBlue's initial response was insulting. They say they got an email and an offer of a refund for the wild ride. As for the captain's attorney, he did not reply to our request for comment. Robin?
And Jim, as you just said a moment ago, the pilot is headed to court. How serious are these criminal charges that he's facing?
Well, they aren't serious enough that it could land him up in jail, but many people believe that they're a little different than the charges you might have gotten if, in fact, a passenger would have done this, banged on the door. But for a captain, they apparently are believing that he wasn't indeed trying to bring down the plane.
We'll see what happens. All right, in court. Thank you, Jim.